What's your I didn't know someone could mess up my order so bad. Dining experience. Buffet in Vegas. Waiter takes our drink order. Milk for me, odge for the GF and water for the both of us. We get a plate of food and come back to a Coke and Sprite. Not really concerned, we ask for water and carry on. He brings 2 grapefruit juices. At this point I'm thinking we are on camera and my girlfriend is just trying not to laugh. I asked the waiter if I could have a milk again and an odge for my girlfriend. He smiles, says no problem, milk and odge. He comes back with 2 chocolate milks and winks at me. I'm full out laughing with my girlfriend at this point and we have completely given up on getting what we asked for. I'm not sure if he didn't speak English in the slightest, if he was on drugs, or if he was just playing a joke on us, but he got a decent tip for getting everything wrong. Quite possibly the best meal of the trip. Oh man, I can't stop laughing at the image of that in my head. The real question is, did he charge you everything he brought? Cause if so, the guy is a genius. And if not, he's a legend. A win either way, depending on who he was serving. Not my personal experience, but one of a customer at the Chick-fil-A I worked for. One Friday evening, we were super busy as it was a dinner rush, so we had people scrambling in the kitchen to get orders together. A couple people were assigned to making chicken sandwiches, which is relatively simple. Get a bun, put the fillet inside it, wrap the sandwich in a foil. Well, somewhere along the way, someone forgot to put a fillet inside the bun, so they just had a bun with pickles and gave it to a customer. Needless to say, the customer wasn't very happy, and we were all reprimanded. This happened to my dad when he got McDonald's once. No patty inside the burger. He didn't want to go back, so he put chicken nuggets inside it instead. This is actually way more common than you would think. I work at McDonald's. This usually happens when a new person gets hired, and they are super nervous and learning table. One time we hired someone, he handed out 5 cheeseburgers without meat. The 5 cheeseburgers were the same order, so the entire order got sent out without meat. Girlfriend and I ordered a burger and told the server we would split it. What arrived was 2 plates, each with half a bun and a small patty, as if they had taken the meat of one patty, divided it and cooked 2 small burgers instead. So we each had an open face slider on a full-size bun half. Definitely a unique interpretation of splitting a burger. To this day the amount of effort they put in astounds me. Some places almost get offended that you want to split a meal. Oh, and charge more if they split the meal in back and both plates get 2 sides and a roll with half the steak. Great. I'll pay extra. If I tell them when I order that I want an extra plate to split the meal and they bring out 1 plate, I get grumpy. My food is getting cold here while I'm looking at it. I work in a restaurant that does this. We do charge $2 for a split plate, but we give a little more of the side with it. My interpretation of the reasoning for the $2 charges that it stops people from, say, ordering a 2-piece fish and chips, which will end up being cheaper than buying 2 1-pieces. Not exactly my order, but my payment. I was at a fast food restaurant R&W and tried to pay the cashier, who was a foreign worker. My bill was $11 and I paid him $21. We have $10 and $20 bills. He took the 21 without giving me my $10 change, so I tried to tell him that. He then gave me back the $20 and proceeded to give me the receipt. I don't like being rude to customer service people, so I tried to explain to him that he had to give me a $10 bill. It took me around 3 minutes to explain that to him, resulting in a long line behind, but all ended well, and I even got commended by the guy behind me. Receiving appraisal from a stranger is the best thing ever. Congrats. Genuine question: is the usage of appraisal correct in this context? I feel like it should be applause. Appraisal is developing an opinion. Applause is a bunch of people clapping. Praise is the word Hare's looking for. My mother always asks for a number 7, plain on a regular bun. I can't count on my own fingers how many times they have either given her a sandwich with everything on it: lettuce, tomato, mayo, or a seeded bun. What is so hard about plain on a regular bun? I can't say I'd think of a bun with no seeds. If you said regular, she should just say with a seedless bun. The topping, however, have no excuse. If this was McDonald's, then regular bun means the unseeded smaller buns used for hamburgers. If you ordered a burger plain where I work, you'd have to explain yourself further, because some customers say plain and mean meat and cheese only, some mean unseasoned meat and nothing else, some mean give me the burger the way it comes normally. Whoever's taking your mom's order should really be asking clarifying questions. I have a friend who just wants a cooked burger on a bun, bread and meat. Apparently that is unusual and against all reason. I have too. There was a pizza shop I would frequent about once a week if not more. It was cheap and really great quality. One day, realizing I had no food, I ordered a small pizza to tie me over. What came was 2 brioche buns cut in half with little sauce and too much cheese. I wanted to cry. Called the owner, and he said, "Why did you order that if you don't like it? That's what you ordered." It was so frustrating, and I couldn't get a refund. He tried telling me that small pizza is a pizza sub, and if I don't like pizza subs, don't order a small pizza. Haven't gone back since. Second, I went to a fancy restaurant in my area and ordered a chicken shawarma wrap with no tomatoes and fries on the side. What I received was a hot pita filled with maybe a tablespoon of cold chicken, tomatoes, like a whole tomato chopped up, and soggy cold French fries inside. That meal cost about $18. I never went back. Was recently involved in a situation where a restaurant kept serving Coke to a young man who explicitly ordered Diet Cokes. He had poorly controlled type 1 diabetes and promptly went into diabetic ketoacidosis from all the sugar, was admitted to hospital. Don't know what happened, whether it was mislabeling, the wait staff thinking it would be fine, or whatever. Learned from the endocrinologist that you can test diet soda at restaurants by placing a finger or something else in your drink. If it dries sticky, it probably has sugar. This is actually hugely comforting to me. I always worry I might drink non-diet soda, not diabetic, just deathly afraid of sugary SP in liquid form. I'm T1D myself, I can tell, based on the aftertaste. Diet Coke doesn't leave much of a lingering aftertaste, but Coke does. Also, there's just this disconcerting sweetness with regular drinks that I pick up on pretty quick. So, embarrassingly, this is where I messed up. About 8 years ago I was in college and working as a function waitress at the Union Club of Boston. Whenever we served coffee, we had 2 pitchers that were nearly identical, but had one identifier that showed the difference between the regular coffee and decaf. I think it was one had a thinner spout than the other or something very slight along those lines. One night, we ran out of regular coffee and my supervisor said that we should just get rid of the rest of the coffee from the decaf pitcher and call it a day, since only the staff really knew the difference between the 2 pitchers. However, about 5 minutes later, one gentleman pulls me aside and asks, "I noticed that the decaf pitcher usually has a thinner spout. Are you serving everyone decaf and calling it regular?" I'm sure I turned bright red and stammered out some weird excuse, but to this day I'm pretty paranoid about lying, lol. Bacon cheeseburger with just lettuce and onion. Brainiac decided this meant leaving off the bacon and cheese too. I have a pic of another burger. No mayo please. Clearly listed on the receipt. There's one thing on the burger: mayo. This happens to me all the time. I wonder if it's some sort of vindictive thing for asking them to custom make it. I always get extra pickles on anything I order, and I swear about 90% of the time I get 0 pickles instead. Even at places where you can order online on a device and specify the amount you want. It gets even worse when you ask for 2 changes. No tomato, extra pickles perfectly specified. Enjoy your burger with extra tomato and nothing else. It's because all the staff in the back are dead inside and are so overworked they can't think straight. They probably haven't slept properly in months. Or they are new. I ordered soup, a sandwich and a brownie from Nida's through the drive-thru. I usually check the food before I leave, but I was sick and just wanted to go home. I get home, and I realize so many things are wrong. I asked for extra sauce, bacon on the side, and no lettuce on my sandwich. It's what I order every time. There was no sauce, a small cup of chicken on the side and so much lettuce. On top of that, they hadn't put any lid on my soup. It was just all over the bag with a spoon stuck in it. Plus they forgot my brownie. At an old job my boss got everyone Jimmy John's. 4 out of the 6 sandwiches had hair in them. Not just like one strand but like clumps. Mine included. And last was McDonald's. I got a Big Mac that was just 3 buns. That was all. Nothing in them. And one had a zipper print across the top. My so ordered DoorDash from a hotel. The guy came in pretty cross-faded on something, didn't even remember who he handed the food to. His versions of story did not add up after a couple times, and gave our food to one of the first people he saw, and then came up to our room to ask for his red bag. It started a whole thing downstairs, because he said he gave it to a short Asian woman description of me, and said that he just wanted to punch her for taking the food. My so and the director of securities at this point told him to leave, because I was standing right there in shock. It took 3 hours to get wings, so not a good experience. I've read this a few times and still don't understand at all. Seems like delivery guy was high, gave the food in the red warmer bag to some random person in the lobby, then went up to the room to ask for the warmer bag back. Went out for a family meal a few days before Christmas. The restaurant was empty bar one elderly man drinking soup. I tried to suggest going somewhere else, but my family was happy. I'm vegetarian, so I ordered a vegetable curry. When my meal arrived I had got chicken curry, no vegetables in sight. We laughed at how they managed to get it so wrong, and when the waiter came back we explained the situation. After a decent wait my vegetable curry arrived, and I started to eat. I began to notice objects in my food that I couldn't quite place at first. As more and more pieces floated around the bowl it became very clear what it was. You guessed it. Chicken. They must have pulled the big chunks of chicken out of my previous portion and thrown in a few vegetables. I wasn't exactly happy, but the manager couldn't have cared less. There were 12 of us, and we ordered everything from salads to steak. I ordered a hamburger with fries. Everyone gets their order but me. I pointed out to the waiter and he goes back to get it. No show. My friends get their drinks refreshed, and I still don't have my food. My friends start feeling sorry for me and share their fries and a couple of bites of steak and such. I turned down most of it because my food is coming out soon. Right? Waiter. I still haven't gotten my meal. I start eating the food my friends start passing down to me. After some of the people have eaten and have gotten their tickets, I get my order along with my ticket. Some of my friends were getting up to leave. I told the waiter, no thanks. This was the only time in my life I have ever intentionally walked out on a ticket.